Having spent most of my career in startups and turnaround organizations, dealing with delivering bad news has been something I've become acutely familiar with, probably more so than I'd even enjoy to admit. However, it is part of being a leader. It's probably one of the parts that most leaders enjoy the least, but it is something that you have to be able to do. Now, if you read throughout the internet, you will get lists and lists of how to deliver bad news. And there's some very credible information out there, and there's some less than credible information out there. However, perhaps it's the minimalist in me, but I have knocked it down to about 4 things that I think are critical that every leader can do to deliver bad news better than the situation may allow. And here they are. 1, planning. Once you know you're going to have to give bad news, whether to an individual or to a group, I believe ripping the Band-Aid off is important. That means getting the news out, getting it out quickly, not being political, but really being focused on the purpose of the news. However, you do have to plan. You have to spend enough time to figure out what's the message, what is going to be considered success in terms of getting the message out there, and knowing this prior to saying anything to anybody. Second, brevity. This one is so underrated. Being brief is so important when giving bad news. If you've ever been delivered bad news or a message that wasn't ideal and you were given it by someone that just babbled and rambled, almost to the point where they sounded kind of like a bumbling fool, you know that that is not how you want to be given news. People would much rather hear it directly and quickly. Get to the point. 3, clarity. The line between brevity and insulting somebody really lies in clarity. So decide what you think is going to mean a clear delivery of your message. This goes back to your planning phase, but make sure the message is clear. So short, yes, but not so short that you don't actually get to the point. They need to walk away. You need to know what they should know. They need to know what you just told them. And the 4th thing is empathy. This is probably an important part of every facet of leadership. However, compassion and humanity is so important when giving bad news. You can't just treat people like they're not people just because what you want to tell them isn't what they want to hear. This is especially true when you're firing people or you have to let people go or demote or pay cut or even just give criticism to people. You have to realize that people are, sensitive beings. And even if they like to wear a really hard shell, chances are when you give that news, it's going to really hurt them. So in the end, there's a ton of tips and a ton of information out there on how to give bad news. But I really knock it down to 4 things. 1, plan your message. 2, get to the point and get there quickly. 3, be clear. Don't be so quick that you're not clear, so know the difference. And 4, be human. Treat people like you want to be treated. It is that simple. And if you do these 4 things, then you don't have to worry about the messenger being shot. You'll just be ending up giving a better message.